I'm about to interview someone who is probably a psychopathic serial killer. He's never been arrested for his crimes, but there's good reason to believe he's killed many, many people. I don't know how many, but hopefully I'm about to find out. Right, so I'll say a word and then you just react instantly with whatever comes to mind. Okay.
Yep.
Fish.
Chips.
Biscuit.
Tea.
Flesh.
Fish.
Strangle.
Killer.
Umbrella.
Rain.
Disembowel.
Penis.
So I should probably explain. This whole thing started a week ago. I was watching one of those many near-identical true crime shows and I found myself thinking, thank goodness serial killers exist. After all, without their nefarious, horrifying crimes, we wouldn't be able to morbidly enjoy this spectacle on Netflix like the horrible little gore perverts we are. But it also got me thinking, what is it we really enjoy about these nauseating criminals? Well, I asked a few of my work colleagues.
What do I love about serial killers? They're very fascinating.
I like the gore.
The fact that they walk amongst us, serial killers can just be people.
I want to be friends with them, I'd want to date them, I relate to them.
Really, I think more people would probably like murder quite regularly if there wasn't, quite so much hassle involved.
Horrifyingly, some of my depraved work colleagues were even able to name their favourite serial killer.
Ted Bundy's pretty cool. Yeah, so I suppose he's quite good looking as well, isn't he? Bit of a bad boy, I don't know why I'm saying this.
I'm really into BTK, which is the bind, torture, kill killer, I'm sure you're aware.
Ted Bundy, but then I can't say that, can I? Because he just likes women.
Why can't you say that?
Because then I would look like I fancy him, but I don't, no.
Now I was slightly unsettled by Alice's unhinged and openly sexual infatuation with a genuine murderer, but in my typically didactic fashion, I was also interested. From Charles Manson's murderous authority over his cult and Ted Bundy's sickening charm, all the way to the calm, collected cannibalism of Jeffrey Dahmer. What do these awful killers have in common? Well, here's where things get interesting. They're not crazy. The often perpetuated myth that prolific murderers are mentally ill or insane actually misses the mark. Research suggests that in reality, serial killers are much more likely to exhibit antisocial personality disorders, most commonly psychopathy and sociopathy. Both disorders involve a lack of conscience. You know, that little voice in your head that tells you not to avoid tax or eat children. But where sociopaths have a little, weakened conscience, psychopaths are totally devoid of it. That means that unlike sociopaths, psychopaths can pretend to feel empathy and maintain social norms and relationships whilst feeling nothing underneath. Where sociopaths might be prone to fits of unfettered rage like my walking nightmare of a producer, psychopaths are cold and calculated like my adoptive mother. And psychopathy isn't a new phenomenon either. Here on the streets of Whitechapel during the late 1800s, Jack the Ripper used to prowl about doing his nasty shit, and the consensus is that he too was a psychopath who revelled in the notoriety of his own crimes. Jack was able to avoid capture for his entire life, which has to make you think, if these psychopaths are so great at hiding, how exactly can you find them? Well, in 1995, psychologist Michael Levinson devised a test to diagnose psychopathy, so I figured I'd covertly worm a few of his questions into my interview. I'm going to say a few statements and I just need you to say whether they fit with your personality.
Okay.
I enjoy cheese toasties.
Agree.
Football is a fun and pleasant activity.
Agree.
I enjoy manipulating other people's feelings.
Disagree.
Sun cream is important in the hot weather.
Agree.
My main purpose in life is to get as many goodies as I can, regardless of the consequences to other people's welfare and well-being.
Disagree.
You disagree with that?
I do disagree with
You
that.
don't like goodies?
I do like goodies. I do like goodies.
Would you say that
But I wouldn't
you would like to get as many as you can?
In a fair way.
I thought we could just make a bit of small talk. Before we continue, just to make everyone feel comfortable. So, aren't small domestic animals cute?
I don't think they're cute.
But then it's challenging because sometimes you want to cuddle them and other times you want to watch the life fade from their eyes.
No. I do.
You don't
I've got a
feel-
dog.
And
I do.
sometimes you want to cuddle it, but other times you want to watch the life fade from its eyes.
No. No. Yeah, I cried when it got run over. So,
No, that is terrible though.
yeah,
I'm very sorry about your dog.
it's fine. He's okay.
That's good. In the last 5 years, which celebrity death made you laugh the most? It was clear I wasn't getting anywhere with my clandestine investigation. But then again, how did I, an extraordinarily altruistic and well-meaning empath, stand any chance against an iniquitous psychopath? You see, psychopaths aren't just good at murdering people, they're also extremely adept at other things, like lying, making serial killing just one of many lucrative occupations. According to British psychologist Kevin Dutton, the top 4 career choices for psychopaths are CEO, attorney, media personality, and salesperson. And studies estimate that as many as 1 in 5 business leaders have psychopathic tendencies. Understanding psychopathy more reveals just why. As well as traits like ruthlessness, persuasiveness, and an inability to feel guilt, psychopaths often benefit from a severe resilience to chaos, meaning that they can thrive in conditions that stress other people out, and often actively strive to create chaotic conditions that will benefit them alone. And let me tell you, learning this sent me pretty west. If these morally defunct psychopaths succeed so well in the modern world, is that not symptomatic of a flawed economic system? A Darwinist dog-eat-dog landscape that rewards cruel, ruthless behaviour, where wealth and power are garnered by abusing other human beings. Naturally, I found myself quickly establishing a communist sleeper cell, preparing to wage ravaging war on the West and beckon a new morally sound society into existence. But then the thought struck me. Did I not myself interact with a possibly murderous psychopath on a regular basis? I of course worked for a CEO, Lee Wilcox, successful business owner and potential serial killer. So I called up my comrades, pausing our plan to destroy 3 key pret-a-manges across Canary Wharf and organise the interview you've been watching. I had to know for good. So I'm going to show you some images, and if you could just tell me how you feel about them.
Okay. Yeah, it's cute.
Cute.
Yeah, it reminds me of money, like profit, growth.
You like
it's positive.
Profit. Profit, good.
Profit is good, yeah. Profit is definitely good.
Yeah. This one.
I mean, it's not a very nice photo. It reminds me of a spit roast.
And this one?
Yeah, tasty.
Tasty.
Oh, yeah, tasty.
Is this tasty?
Oh,
Do you have any thoughts or feelings about this man?
other than I've shook his hand.
Have you?
Yeah. Didn't know that, did you?
No. Some people have said
regret
some
it.
quite nasty things about him. So, your friends?
No, I've had to justify that a lot there.
To my surprise, there was nothing in Lee's expression that revealed a dark, perverse pleasure at the disturbing images he was being subjected to. Perhaps my CEO was not a psychopathic serial killer after all. Perhaps I'd been looking at psychopathy the wrong way this entire time. As it turns out, psychopathy is less black and white than we'd like to believe. It's actually a spectrum disorder. Now, the 20-item Hare psychopathy checklist used to evaluate psychopathy requires a score of above 30 to be clinically diagnosed. But everybody sits on this spectrum somewhere, and some of the checklist statements are frighteningly quotidian. In fact, things like telling other people what they want to hear and cheating in games for the fun of it are both possible elements of psychopathy. And then it dawned on me, could I, in fact, be a psychopath? The idea seemed preposterous, but I couldn't deny that during the production of this episode, I may have exhibited certain vague signs of psychopathy. Lifting you up. Yeah, I was like, get you up by your legs. Dylan, shut the f*** up. Dylan, shut the f*** up.
Talk for hours and
Put
never
you
slept. 2 silhouettes on the concrete steps. We watch the sun as it slowly crept
Just do it.
from the horizon to the place we
You don't say cut. You don't say cut. What don't you say? What don't you say? What don't you say? What don't you say?
Cut.
The truth is, psychopathy is far more complicated than we'd like to believe. The same traits that have facilitated some of our favourite murderers can also lead to a successful career as a media personality or impressive achievements in the world of business. And whilst not all serial killers are psychopathic, many of your friends and family may sit surprisingly high on the spectrum. So what do we do with this knowledge? Well, as someone too frightened to actually take the test, I'd say you just have to go with the flow. Stop analysing your own personality and let the future envelop you like the busty, freezing cold mistress she is. We've all had a rough year, so in 2021, let's try to be ourselves. And if that means a career in banking, ultra left-wing acts of terrorism, or just genuinely killing and eating people, then so be it.